Yes, it's me, Coach Morgan, alive and well, post Last Man Standing, where I completed 18 laps or 75 miles. And if you haven't yet to watch that video, go ahead and check that out now so you can see, get a little visual of everything, and then come back here to learn about what went wrong, what went right, and how I've been recovering post-ultra. So I first just want to start with like an overall vibes of the race. I loved it. I had a great time. It really helped that this race was put on by close friends of mine. And it's really weird going into a race like this with zero expectations because you really don't know how long you're going to be out there for. It's not a marathon or a half marathon where I know exactly I'm going to be running 13.1 or 26.2. But with this, it's just endless. So my goal heading into this race was to run as much as I could, but I actually mean run and not walk. So each lap, every hour on the hour, when I went out, I tried to keep as consistent of a pace as I could, which ended up being right around a 10-15 minute mile. So I'm gonna show you all of my Coro stats over here because I had my watch with me, my Apex. It was amazing. I don't even know if I actually had to charge it, but at like hour 15, 16, and 17, those 3 laps when I would come in, I would just charge it for like 5-10 minutes or so and then go back out. And actually the next day when I looked at my watch, it was at 90% battery. So it was doing really well. Anyways, so I'm gonna show you all the stats over here and you can see that a lot of the time I was running right at that 10-15 pace. I was keeping really consistent. During some of the laps, I would stop and eat. There was like a little hill on the back portion of it, so like mile 2.5 to 3-ish, something right around there. There was just a little teeny tiny hill, and a few times I would walk that just to kind of like stretch out. And I stopped my watch every time that I came into the aid station because I wanted to see what my overall pace was, not including the time that I was sitting at the aid stations, because I knew exactly how many hours I was going to be out there, right? Because it's every hour on the hour, you know exactly how long you're going to be out there. So as you can see, I was out there for just over that 13 hours that I was running, which means that every single time that I came in, I was pretty consistent and had about 10 to 15 minutes of rest each round, which turned out to be like, I think, my saving grace because I was able to stretch, get water, get food. Every single hour I was able to just like take a second, readjust, and then go back out. So when I was looking back on it, I completed 75 miles of the race, and I think I ran about 72 to 73 of them. I'm not sure exactly. So overall, I was really proud of myself for able to keep a very consistent pace and run almost 75 miles. So A+ for me. Also, in between these laps, I tried to sit for a little bit, but I also had my yoga mat right below me, and I would sit down and Grady or one of the PTs that were there would help stretch me out. I tried to keep mobile, especially through my hips each time, whether that was by stretching or using the foam roller. Honestly, probably one of the biggest questions or most asked questions that I get is, what did you eat? And I just want to start by saying that nutrition is different for everybody, so you need to test different things out, and I've had plenty of years to test out what works for me and what doesn't. So roughly, it came out to be 2,815 calories that I consumed, and lots of water, lots and lots of water that I was drinking. And speaking of water consumption, we're just gonna float right into the heat. So it was super hot. I think it was high 80s and then just like typical New England humidity out there, so it was really high. But I think I did an excellent job keeping myself cool. And to be fair, I was running, like I said, average 10-15 pace. So my heart rate wasn't super high, so I definitely wasn't going into that overheating territory. I felt very comfortable all day. One thing that was so cool about this race, so many people hit distance PRs. And I think that's, once again, this structure of a race really is indicative to that. And it's just really cool. So if you ever want to just like PR your race distance, you know, it's like, okay, just another 4 miles, very easy chunks. I suggest signing up for a race like this. And one of the things I always try to tell myself, what my husband always tries to tell me, is that these things go by so quickly. So in those moments of low, that everything just feels slow and like it's never gonna be done. Try to find that joy of running. I used the crowd of people that were there cheering me on. Like I said, I had a lot of friends who were out there doing this race and they were right there next to me. I knew they were suffering too. So I just tried to enjoy being there with them and enjoy running. And I was able to enjoy running up until the very last lap. I was experiencing a little bit of like knee discomfort. The first mile in, I had to stop and walk. I walked a few times earlier just to kind of shake things out, but this was like, I don't really want to be running anymore. But I wanted to make it in before the cutoff because if you don't make it back on that hour, it doesn't count. So going into September, I have some races and I didn't want to be sore for it. I didn't want to. I wanted to be able to continue to run. I wanted to end this race being smart. I wanted to get into marathon training. I wanted to be successful in my marathon training. So I knew that it was smart to call it quits after that lap. So post-race, here we are. What's been going down? The 2 weeks directly post-race, I think I ran maybe 3 times and I biked twice. Just real easy, real casual. I did run a race with one of my friends. Things feel stiff, things feel not sore, but just not quite where they should be. The longest run I've done now in this past month has been 13 miles, and it was a little tough, but I just kind of had to get it out of the way. Nothing feels extremely painful, but I really want to make sure I am doing a lot of extra single leg work. I am doing a lot of twisting motion, trying to relax that lower back, getting back into strength training because I just didn't feel very strong and powerful after the race, and starting to feel the legs coming back a little bit. So I'm excited, hopefully actually going into like this next week when I'm filming this video. I'm gonna hopefully be doing some longer runs. I really need to get in a 20 miler soon here before marathon day, so that should be really fun and interesting. But I know I can do the distance. I just need to make sure that I can get the legs turning over and getting to the finish line happy and healthy. I know I kind of just given like a little overview of the race. I know there's so many aspects and roads that I could go down into. So if you have any questions about the race, about ultras, trail running, whatever, please leave them down in the comments. I go in there and I see everything that you guys post. And I want to be able to help you if you want to do something like this, right? That's what I'm here for. Keep up because we still got some summer left and we still got some fun things to do. So let's go.